This is both day 16 and day 17 in the trial against Lindsay Clancy. Day 16 was quite simple. First and foremost, the continuance of the testifying of Dr. Seisel. The prosecution just wanted to reinforce that he stated that she really couldn't communicate well, was struggling. According to him, he didn't make those notes in there because they weren't necessary. He was unable to do a full evaluation. But they said that, well, even though she couldn't be evaluated because of the fact that everything was foggy, yet was able to remember her husband's phone number to call the husband. After he testified, that's when Emily, the young lady from TikTok, came. She's a social worker. It was called voir dire, which is testifying without the jury present. They decided against allowing her to testify in front of the jury. However, she did share the different schedules, how they in fact had not changed. So it wasn't like while she was there for 5 days in McClenny, she had someone on her checking her. They made it seem. Day 17. The witness in day 17, her name is Sheila Kavanaugh, which is a board certified chaplain at Brigham and Women's Hospital. First and foremost, if I was hospitalized and I woke up and that was the person that was talking to me, when I tell you, I would feel like I was in heaven. That woman's voice is so calming. And I've worked with nurses that are that compassionate and kind. You guys have such a gift. She shares that she first encountered Lindsay Clancy on January 25th, the morning after the incident. She describes that the unit was flooded with law enforcement, Brigham security, Plymouth County officers, as well as Boston police, pretty much circling her. I'm telling you, they acted like she was in the cartel. When she entered, she did say that Lindsay was intubated, unable to speak. She was covered in medical equipment. She was wearing a neck brace and dressed in what she would consider medical armor. And finally, she was able to have a meaningful interaction with her on January 31st. At that point, the tubes had been taken out and she was able to speak. She recalls vividly that when she held Lindsay's hand, Lindsay said, "I'm so glad my children are safe." Sheila responded theologically, telling her that the children were safe in heaven with God and actually prayed together. Lindsay also told her 2 days after the incident that she heard a male voice, persistent and commanding, telling her that if she did not obey, neither she nor the children would be safe. A lot of these details came up multiple times throughout the conversations, throughout her visits. Even after she was transferred to Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital, she continued seeing her. In fact, she's seen her about approximately 200 times. She felt that she was dealing with deep grief. Now, when the prosecution came and did a cross-examination, they told her that, the reason there was so much hospital security was because there was a search warrant and Sheila wouldn't know. They also said that on her notes, none of these things that she's saying about a male commanding her were in the notes. And she makes it clear that that's true because as a chaplain, notes are not verbatim transcripts, and her role is to bear witness to suffering, not to evaluate patients and write everything down. We also discussed the notes showing that she did document Lindsay's fears of never walking again, hopefulness about discharge, feelings of physical progress, even saying she felt deserving of her condition. Now, when the defense redirects, makes it clear that the chaplain communications are privileged, confidential, and not treated like clinical documentation. In fact, the chaplain approaches the patients in a vortex of trust. That is why they are able to have these conversations and build this rapport. They don't write down the entire conversation.